We are live in 3, 2, 1.
Officer Goodman passes Senator Mitt Romney and directs him to turn around in order to get to safety.
Video from inside the U.S. Capitol shows Senator Mitt Romney running from a mob of protesters who breached the building last month.
They are not true. I never made those statements. I asked that they be stricken.
Senator Mike Lee objects to what he says is false evidence presented at the impeachment trial.
The House votes in favor to change the name of Dixie State University. Welcome to NewsLine. It's Thursday, February 11th. I'm Tucker Thompson.
And I'm Catherine Bennett.
In their first full day of arguments in their case against former President Trump, House impeachment managers showed senators new video of the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
That included pointing out just how close the rioters came to the senators. Karen Kaifa has the details from Washington.
The House impeachment managers used their first full day of arguments to put together a timeline and try to draw a direct line between the months of rhetoric from former President Trump and the events that took place at the Capitol on January 6th. They relied on some never-before-seen video footage from Capitol security cameras and other resources to show just how close rioters came to U.S. senators and to the former vice president.
On January 6th, President Trump left everyone in this Capitol for dead.
A direct personal appeal from the House impeachment managers to their jury, senators, most of whom experienced the January 6th insurrection firsthand.
The evidence will show you that ex-President Trump was no innocent bystander.
The Democratic prosecutors alleging former President Donald Trump's incitement began well before his January 6th speech to rallygoers, with repeated calls to stop the steal.
His false claims about election fraud, that was the drumbeat being used to inspire, instigate.
And leaning on disturbing Capitol security video and other law enforcement footage and audio for a dramatic timeline of the insurrection.
You can hear an officer when he realizes that the insurrectionists had overtaken the police line.
Critical of Trump's actions that day and his inaction.
He did not once condemn the attackers. In fact, on January 6th, the only person he condemned was his own vice president, Mike Pence.
Video presented by the House Democrats showing just how close rioters came to the former vice president and to the senators themselves.
They were just a feet away from one of the doors to this chamber.
And the House impeachment managers will have 8 more hours today to continue to make their case against the former president. And then Trump's defense attorneys will take over tomorrow with their case. We understand they've been doing some retooling of their process. They, too, plan to rely on video, and they're also going to shuffle the order of which attorney speaks first. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Video from the impeachment trial shows Utah Senator Mitt Romney running to avoid the mob as they entered the Capitol.
Officer Goodman passes Senator Mitt Romney and directs him to turn around in order to get to safety.
The video shows the urgency of Capitol security as they work to protect those inside the building from the protesters outside. You can see Senator Romney is walking down a hallway when Officer Goodman comes running toward Romney and motions for him to turn the other way. Romney turns and runs, following the officer to safety.
During the impeachment trial, Senator Mike Lee asked that they fix the record to show that the statements which were attributed to him are not true.
Mr. President, that is not my motion. You've ruled on a motion. You've ruled on something that was not what I moved. What I asked was, statements were attributed to me repeatedly, as to which I have personal knowledge because I am the source. They are not true. I never made those statements. I asked that they be stricken.
The statements refer to a phone call between President Trump and Senator Tommy Tuberville using Senator Lee's cell phone on January 6th, the day of the Capitol riots.
John Huber, the U.S. Attorney for Utah, resigns from his position. President Biden has requested that the U.S. Attorney for Utah and several other states step down from their posts. This is not unusual during a change of administration. Huber says, quote, "From the time President Obama appointed me through President Trump's administration and up to my final day of service, I've aspired to be a statesman who prioritizes patriotism over partisanship."
The Utah House voted in support of a name change for Dixie State University. One of the reasons given for the requested name change is due to the ties it has to the Confederacy and slavery. A recent study shows former students of Dixie State have difficulties with getting hired once employees see the name Dixie on their resume. The study also confirmed that nearly 2/3 of people in the college's recruiting region associate the name Dixie with the Confederacy. The bill will now move to the Senate, but the university has not yet chosen a new name.
A 59-year-old man and his dog died this morning after his car drove off the roadway and rolled near Ballard. Witnesses say the car was traveling westbound at a high speed when it passed another vehicle. The driver lost control of the car, causing it to go off the road and roll. The driver was ejected from the vehicle and died at the scene. It is believed the driver was transporting his injured dog to a vet at the time of the accident. The accident remains under investigations. A mature female polar bear born at the Hogle Zoo in Salt Lake City was killed during a recent breeding attempt in Detroit. Anana, the polar bear, was transferred from the Cincinnati Zoo to the Detroit Zoo in January of last year. Last week, zookeepers introduced Anana to the male polar bear, Nuka, in hopes of breeding. During mating attempts, Nuka killed Anana. A spokesperson for the Cincinnati Zoo says the zoo's staff members are devastated at the news of her death. They say she was a little bear with a big personality.
2 snowmobilers are rescued after being stranded for hours in the backcountry of Cache County. The men walked for 5 hours in waist-deep snow while they waited for another member of their party to get help. The men had no food or water, but stumbled upon a cabin where they could shelter until they were found. Cache County Search and Rescue finally found them after 36 hours. The grateful families of the rescued men encourage everyone to donate to their local search and rescue because the teams are volunteers and use their own money for rescue equipment.
It's Black History Month, and students across BYU's campus are celebrating virtually this year.
NewsLine reporter Andrew Reed tells us more about the events going on all month long.
Brigham Young University is hosting several events for Black History Month. The Africana Studies program will hold several virtual events including panels, discussions, and a lecture series called Race, Myths, and Realities. These lectures happen every Wednesday at noon, all semester long, and mainly feature people of African descent.
I think it's really important for Black students on campus too to have these events so that they can see that they belong, that they're part of the campus.
People in the United States started celebrating the month of February as Black History Month back in 1976. It was established as a time to remember accomplishments, recognitions, and hear inspiring stories from those of African descent. Events at BYU this month include a lecture by Nadia Brown from Purdue University and a colloquium by Maureen Orton.
So what we try to do with these is delve into history that we may not know much about.
And the biggest event, called Perspectives, will be put on by BYU's Black students and the Multicultural Student Services. Students will share traditions, music, poetry, and life experiences.
My hope is that after this Black History Month and after these events, people are genuinely wanting to support Black students all the time.
Students and faculty alike hope that through these events, people around campus can come together and be more unified for longer than just 1 month of the year, no matter your background or where you come from around the world.
I appreciate the effort that BYU makes to recognize Black students.
Reporting for Newsline at BYU, I'm Andrew Reed.
Thanks, Andrew. If you would like to learn more about these events and future ways to get involved, you can follow the Africana program on Instagram at afri.byu or the BYU Kennedy Center at BYU Kennedy Center.
The Utah Jazz is streaming a series of YouTube videos to help educate students K through 12 about Black history.
He's played against the Pacers. Donovan Mitchell with 20.
The purpose of the program is to give Utah schools material to teach children about people and events in Black history. They will also host 3 individual live sessions to discuss Black history heroes and hold an essay contest for students in 9th through 12th grade. The Jazz will also give a 4-year scholarship for 1 student in an underrepresented group for every Jazz victory this season.
The top 3 cities in the nation for charitable donations are all in Utah for the 2nd year in a row. Coming in first is Provo-Orem, 2nd is Ogden-Clearfield, 3rd is Salt Lake City. Last on the list, at number 35, was Wilmington, North Carolina. While 2020 hit a record low for nationwide donations to charity, Provo and Orem maintained their title of number 1 for the 2nd year in a row, with residents donating an average of 6.68% of their annual income.
The head of the Tokyo Olympics resigns. We'll tell you why he resigned and how the Olympic Committee responded.
When the ship wrecked, it went onto a sandbar in this very ferocious storm.
The remains of several pirates are discovered on a wrecked ship. Find out where the pirate ship was found and when it sank.
I got a really upset stomach, and that lasted for a few days.
People have different reactions when getting the COVID-19 vaccine. We give you an inside look at the experience of 2 different patients.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work. Thanks.
You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker,
On your left.
your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot, your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
The president of Tokyo's 2020 Olympics Organizing Committee is stepping down after making sexist comments. Comments were leaked earlier this month that President Yoshio Mori said that women talk too much during meetings. Mori's office has not responded to requests for comments, but Olympics organizers will be holding a meeting with its council and executive board to discuss Mori's remarks. The United States joined a growing number of world governments in placing sanctions on Myanmar. President Biden's executive order imposes sanctions against Myanmar's military leaders. Many countries have imposed similar sanctions, with varying degrees of severity. The UN Human Rights Council is scheduled to meet to discuss the human rights implications of this crisis.
A scary experience for passengers on a plane at Pittsburgh's International Airport on Wednesday. A Delta plane that was getting ready for takeoff suddenly slid off the tarmac while approaching its departure runway. The flight was heading to Atlanta and had 77 people on board. Thankfully, no one was injured. The accident didn't affect other airport operations. The cause of the accident is still being investigated. The skeletal remains of at least 6 pirates have been discovered at a shipwreck site off the coast of Massachusetts. Investigators from the Whydah Pirate Museum say that the pirates stole and wrecked the ship over 300 years ago. The ship wrecked in 1717. The team already has DNA from the captain through a relative in England. Researchers hope to identify the pirates found in the wreck.
All Utah adults should be able to get the COVID-19 vaccine soon.
We'll be getting to you between the age of 60 and 65 sooner rather than later.
Find out when Governor Cox expects vaccines to be available to anyone who wants one.
Taylor Swift announces a new album release. We'll tell you when the album will be available and when you can hear the first single off the album.
And 3 big storms are coming our way. What you need to know to be prepared coming up next.
Dora knows better than anyone. The best place to explore is the forest.
She knows this monkey? Of course, she knows this monkey.
Experience nature.
Let's go.
Connect with family.
I love you guys.
And find your own adventure in a forest or park near you.
Let's do this. Come on, Boots.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
The CDC officially endorses doubling up your face masks.
wearing a mask with a moldable nose wire, knotting the ear loops on your mask, or wearing a cloth mask over a procedure or disposable mask.
A study shows double masking is more than 92% effective in improving protection against the spread of COVID-19. And their ensemble forecast is now making the projection that more than 71,000 people could die from COVID-19 in the United States between now and March 6th.
Some people say the COVID vaccine made them sick, while others experienced no side effects. NewsLine reporter Rachel Smith tells us the good and bad of the COVID vaccine.
I sat down with 3 people who got the vaccine to take a closer look at what it's really like. Kelly Washburn teaches in the Canyon School District and qualified to get the vaccine. Initially, she had some reservations.
Myself and my son have had some adverse side effects from the flu shot or different things in the past that we weren't supposed to have side effects, so I was a little nervous.
After consulting with her doctor, Washburn decided the benefits outweighed the risk. She said the shot gave her a headache, but a few days later, the symptoms got worse.
I got a really upset stomach, and that lasted for a few days.
But Washburn says the disclosure statement they had her sign upset her almost as much as the vaccine side effects.
In my mind, this was all FDA approved, and so you had to sign this disclosure basically stating that you know it's an emergency use and there's nothing you can do about it if you do, have side effects.
Even with the side effects and disclosure statement, Washburn says she plans on getting the second dose. 2 BYU nursing students who got the shot say they had only minor problems.
I'm a big supporter of vaccines. I love vaccines, and I felt pretty confident in the researchers that were behind it.
MJ Carpenter had minimal side effects, but the vaccine made Julia Haas sick.
Just like my whole body was super achy, and I kind of had the chills a little bit, so I kind of just took the whole day off.
Their symptoms only lasted about a day, and they encouraged others to do database research and get the vaccine if they feel comfortable. For updates on vaccine eligibility, visit coronavirus.utah.gov. Reporting for NewsLine in Provo, I'm Rachel Smith.
Many BYU students say they are fed up with parking difficulties in Provo and fed up with the fines. As NewsLine reporter Chloe Stewart tells us, the city's lack of available parking and aggressive parking enforcement presents many inconveniences for students and visitors.
A BYU-approved apartment complex recently towed an entire parking lot of cars from a lot that they originally designated as free parking, putting the towing charges on the students.
It's just really frustrating because I expected that I would have a parking spot available, was told that I could park somewhere, and then ended up having to pay a fee to get my car back.
Students must pay for an on-campus parking pass, but some lots are more than half a mile away from the closest classroom. These fees add to the already thousands of dollars students pay in tuition yearly, as well as housing and other living costs. Not to mention the university's vigilant parking security.
I just think it's frustrating considering that we're all already paying tuition and, we have a lot of other fees to pay.
Most apartment complexes near campus have few visitor parking spots, specifically in the area south of BYU's campus, mostly because of the heavy population during the school year, as the majority of BYU's nearly 32,000 students occupy the city. This increased population and lack of available parking causes traffic during rush hour and major delays for those commuting to and from campus.
I think when all of us are collectively having the same problem, that there should be some kind of solution or at least discussion about what we can do to fix it.
BYU students have struggled with parking in the past, and the problems will likely continue to increase as BYU's student population rises. Reporting for NewsLine in Provo, I'm Chloe Stewart.
Take a look at these unique ice formations called pancake ice. This comes from an Illinois canal, and these pancake shapes are formed during freezing temperature days. Don't they look like an all-you-can-eat pancake feast at IHOP? Yum. But Utah's weather isn't looking as tasty. You can see the colors behind me, the beautiful blues and the purples. This is freezing temperatures coming our way, but I'll walk you through what's happening over the weekend. We are having a 3-storm system. Tomorrow we are having snow in the mountains, rain in the valley, as well as Saturday. but Sunday to Tuesday, we will be seeing rain and snow in the valleys. Be careful driving in the mountains and where you are living in Provo and Salt Lake in the valleys. Very careful and important, it will become dangerous. For today's temperatures, we are seeing pretty similar degrees and temperatures all throughout the Wasatch Front. Provo 53, low of 35, Price high of 45, low of 31. As we get more south, it will get warmer. St. George, you're always beautiful, with a high of 64 and a low of 45. Let's take a look at southern Utah's 5-day forecast. For the most part, we are seeing sunny skies till the beginning of the week, but Friday and Sunday, we will be seeing some rain, so be prepared for that as well. For northern Utah's 5-day forecast, we are having rain and snow all week long. Be prepared. We're also dropping 10 degrees from 48 to 38 by Tuesday. Happy Valentine's Day. It is going to be a snowy Valentine's Day. Bundle up, stay warm. Sierra?
Taylor Swift is making a fearless move. She is re-recording the album that made her famous, what she's going to change the second time around, and how fans are reacting.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision. Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent.
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
Jeff Foxworthy here. You know, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Wow. Thing is, there's a lot more to say. Like if you've ever found yourself burning yard debris and then walking away, well, you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Get along down the road. We got a long, long way to go. Scared to live, scared to die. We ain't perfect, but we try. Get along while we can. Always give love the upper hand. Paint a wall, learn to dance. Call your mom, buy a boat, sing a song, make a friend. Can't we all get along?
Taylor Swift shocks fans once again.
Sierra Isasaga is here to tell us what Swift is doing and how fans are reacting. Swifties all across the world are rejoicing. Taylor Swift posted telling fans she is releasing a new version of her Fearless album called Fearless, Taylor's Version. The album has 26 songs, 6 of which have never before been released. Taylor also says Love Story, Taylor's Version, will be out tonight at midnight. Not only this, but Swift put a secret message in the announcement for fans. True Swifties know Taylor has a history of capitalizing certain letters to reveal hidden information. In this case, the message is April 9th, leading us to assume that is the day the new Fearless album will be released. And fans are losing it. Ron says, "I'm gonna lose my mind, please."
Sick and Tired says, Fearless, who are you? Fearless Taylor version, you but stronger, with this picture of a man crying, but it's kind of one of those proud parent crying moments. And Jenna says that she remembers being a little girl at her grandma's house reading the Fearless lyric book, feeling like Nancy Drew when she realized there was a secret code. She says, you brought that pure adrenaline back to me this morning. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Taylor Swift, for keeping us on our toes with your secret messages, and I'm excited to hear the new version of Love Story tonight. Back to you guys.
Hooters is inviting you to shred your ex and get some wings this Valentine's Day.
You simply destroy a photo of your ex and get 10 free boneless wings when you buy any 10 wings. Participating U.S. locations will have shredders on hand, but you can also do it online. You upload the photo and then virtually shred, burn, bury, or throw darts at it. Once you're done, you get a digital coupon. The promotion is only good for dining in on Sunday, not to go. Hooters says it wants to break last year's record of destroying 49,000 photos. Thanks for joining us today for Newsline.
For more information on our stories or to share them with your friends, check out our website at universe.byu.edu/Newsline.
Have a great day.